From the pitch to the sideline, the calls that shape the game. Welcome to Excellence in Action, the referee show here on IslandStats.com, where we dabble in the world of officiating, dissect the decisions, and celebrate the men and women in the middle. Join us each week as we chat with top officials, analyze controversial moments, and explore the challenges and triumphs of being a referee. Get inside perspective on the rules, the pressure, and the split-second judgments that can make or break a match. It's more than just whistles and flags, it's excellence in action. Now let's get to the show. Well, good morning and welcome to this edition of Referee's Corner, Excellence in Action here on IslandStats.com. I'm your host, Earl Baston. Joining me is none other than Crystal Sobers and Odette Hamilton. Ladies, first of all, thank you very much for joining me this morning. Welcome back to Bermuda, a place that you're kind of starting to call second home. You're here so often, but I do want to say, first of all, congratulations on being selected to the panel board or the board of going to the Women's World Cup or Youth World Cups. Just looking at Crystal, I'll start with you. How would I say? Have you seen the game changed over the years, with more female referees doing, in the domestic side, doing male games?
Yes, it has changed widely, entirely. It's doing games, is the level of the games in terms of the teams, the amount of football now is too much that, it keeps the need for to encourage new referees to get on board. Yeah.
Well, yeah. I mean, yeah, like you say, it's a lot now. Before there were gaps, big gaps. Now there's no gaps in the calendars. Odette, have you noticed any attitudes towards female referees over the years?
Well, there's been a lot. Whereas the females in the men's game, they feel like the females are not welcome in the men's game, because it's a men tournament, so they want the men to do the games. But females are getting more dominant as the years goes by. We're trying to break barriers. We're trying to be that ladies that stand out so we can leave a legacy or a path for the younger persons coming in. So I think they're trying to accept us now as females in the men's game. So I think it's becoming more easy now to officiate as a female in our men's game.
Sure. Crystal, what are some of the unique challenges or advantages of being a female referee in a sport that has traditionally been dominated by men?
How do I see advantages? I mean, if you can go for it, you go for it. I don't see an advantage or disadvantage. Why? Unless if you want to look at different sex, right? And when we speak about referee in the laws of the game, it just specifically says referee. It don't have male, it don't have female.
Right.
So I am really glad that they have really given us the opportunity, to push ourselves to say, hey, what more can we become in a part of this career? So for me, we have the same type of training. We just understand the same type of law. So I don't see the difference unless we want to categorize the human, which I think is unnecessary. Is if you can, or if you cannot. Simple.
Sure. Odette, what is the most rewarding aspect of being a football referee for you?
Well, I can say just to travel the world, meet different people, different culture, to get out of Jamaica, just to see what the other side of the world is all about. So I think that is my most important part.
Yeah. Okay. Crystal, what's the key qualities for you to make a good referee in your eyes? What are some of the key qualities that you see that could make a good referee?
For me, is your personality. I mean, yes, we understand you have to come in with fitness, right, and the knowledge of the game. But you being unique as a referee, I always consider your personality, and wherefore it goes for with your attitude. Because in a game, you have to understand the players' needs, their mental stress, what they are going through, right? So now that we understand the pressures, we also have to understand that emotional intelligence, that we cannot, try to battle that, but be the somewhat resolving person. That's why we are there, So I really, that's me. Once for me as a referee, I always look at how they can manage that game with their personality.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Good stuff. Good stuff. On a roll here. Okay, um, how do you handle? Because we've seen it over these last few years how aggressive players and coaches and even fans at times get towards referees when a decision is or being made. How do you handle that type of pressure? That was for you, Odette.
Oh, sorry. um, so it all depends on the environment, the culture of the team or the players, and then you have to know how to deal with the situation. You have to be coachable or changeable to adapt to the situation or the environment as a referee. You cannot be at one pace. So that is how I use my personality overall to manage stuff in game, because everybody is different, every team is different, every culture is different. So you have to know how to go about it.
Mm-hmm. And back to you, Crystal, because obviously tempo is one thing when you talk about how the women are playing, and then you're also doing men's game. But how do you adjust to that tempo and ensure that you're able to keep up with the play in both men and women's games? Because it's a little, it is a little different, isn't it?
Right. So when we speak about environment, let's break it apart now for Caribbean
Mm-hmm.
soccer, and then we have Central American soccer,
Right.
right? So of course we understand the pace of the game, the analytics of the game is different. So you
Mm-hmm.
again, as Oda said, you adapt. Whereas you're excited more of the higher level games, because you want to see what you can do, what
Yeah.
you can possess more, rather than, of course, the Caribbean game is so slow pace, and it's like, hey, I'm training hard enough, test me. So
Mm-hmm.
the when we speak about the different level of the games, we are more excited to do overseas games, because it's a challenge, right? It's
Right.
more of you where you are exposed, and where you see, hey, this is the level I am at. You're testing yourself at that level, so you're more interested or engaged in those games. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Odette, can you describe your journey thus far in refereeing?
I can maybe write a book.
Will it be a good book or a bad book?
It's gonna be a good one, because as I said before previously on the shows, I started out at 16 years of age.
Mhm.
So it's been quite a journey coming through. It's like a roller coaster. You go up, you go down, you go
Mhm.
up, you go down, but it's how you recover from the down that you had in the journey, and
Mhm.
know where you want to go forward, or what you want to achieve, to how you to build yourself to go forward. So it's been quite a journey. I've been to so many places. I've been to the Olympics. I've been to the U17 World Cup in India.
Mhm.
I've been to France for the Maurice Villa tournament. I've been in CONCACAF for U20s, U17s, the Women's Gold Cup. I've done men's game in CONCACAF. So it's been quite a journey for me, and I'm just continuing on that journey to build myself, to see how far this journey takes me. And I'm just willing to do whatever I'm required to do.
Sure, sure. Crystal, there's been a lot of talk of the four new changes made for rules just last month that will start, I guess, next season or has already started. The one about the goalkeeping, 8 seconds and so forth. They tried something before that kind of died off on its own.
Okay.
But having to kind of uphold these new rules and regulations, how often do you think getting together with other referees in the region to understand once when does that 8 seconds start? How often do you think that conversation should be had? And because your interpretation of control and for a goalkeeper and my interpretation of control for a goalkeeper may look different.
Right. And again, just as how the football is evolving, I think, of course, we as referees should be evolving in terms of understanding the game, right?
Hmm.
Because we recognize that players now, they are studying the laws just as us, and they are
Yeah,
using it to circumvent, like to bend or break the law, right? So
yeah,
we have to be mindful of these little um tricks or skill
yeah.
that they're using, right? So you feel it, right? So as soon as you know in your question asks the goalkeeper, okay, you receive the ball, all right, you give it time because of course a goalkeeper, you're gonna think, where am I gonna place this ball? Right. So
Hmm.
with that 8 seconds, you have to give it a thought. It's not like 8 seconds to the book,
Right,
right? Or 8 seconds as soon as he picks up the ball. You again, the game environment, the feel of the game will give you a sense of, hey, you're overdoing it, you're wasting time. This is
right,
when this comes. It's a feel. It's again, you have to be in the game. You have to understand the game. And it's different games, not just one game you're looking at. You have to understand the game that you're in today,
right.
right? Know how to put the laws into action of such. Yeah.
Sure, sure. And Odette, is there any specific referee, male or female, you admire who has influenced your career?
Growing up, I always like Howard Webb. I don't know why, but all these games, I always in tune to watch it. So he was the hallmark for me to become that referee.
Okay. And Crystal, what is your goal for the future as an official?
I mean, it's always to press. It's always keep learning. It's always keep reaching for opportunities. Because there are many opportunities out there. So it's like my goal right now is to reach for that goal. And even though
Hmm.
if I don't reach that goal, I want to be able to say to myself, hey, I have reached somewhere. I have delivered during this process.
Hmm.
You know, as I mentioned to someone recently, is that, oh, you will be this amount of age if you're going to World Cup. I said, hey, some people may think, that's a goal, but it's not, it's not a goal, a grand goal. My grand goal, hey, I need to pass the men's test. I want to officiate in a CONCACAF men's game. It's a process, and I want to be able, hey, at least that I can knock off some of this process
Uh-huh.
towards that goal. And hey, once that has happened, then I leave it up onto that. Yeah,
Sure,
but it's
sure.
about me. It's about self. Yeah.
And Odette, obviously you've had the opportunity to be around some of our youth referees and so forth. What's your message to both male and female, these young people that are taking the opportunity to learn more of the game, officiate games, being in corners with officials such as you and others. Well, what's your message to those young people and maybe those that are on the fence?
Well, I can say that refereeing is a great job, it's a great opportunity. It is just wonderful. Once you put your mind to it and you love what you do, then it's excellent in reward. So I will say to the youngsters that if they are joining the refereeing or if they want to become a referee, go for it. Put your all in it. Give it your best shot. Don't think about it locally in your domestic leagues or in your country. Think about it outside of that because outside of that you have a lot of opportunities and you can also be the best that you can be. You know, there are always persons looking in. So just go for it. Give it your best shot. You know, use your personality, use your skills that you have, and just do it.
Yeah. And Crystal, what more around the region, the CONCACAF region, the Caribbean region, could be done to encourage more females to take up the opportunity of officiating?
Oh, well, I think they have started a new initiative starting from CFU. I think they started this next gen, right?
Yeah.
And I think CONCACAF now adapt to Academy. So they're in the process and I am loving it. I am, really liking that they are seeking new persons, right? Uh, so with that, we are hoping can be something within the member association. And this is where it's supposed to start, not outside, right? So I wish that our member association take it up upon themselves, right? And see the need where they can broadcast and bring in the advertise for the officials, how it's supposed to be, theory session, practical sessions. Yeah, it shouldn't be a one-off.
Right.
This is something we can be continuous. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I want to say to both of you, thank you very, very much for coming and helping us to complete our season. I know whenever Mr. Williams gives that call, he needs help. It's a quick response. What time you need me there? But again, it is really appreciated that you give your time to come and assist us, because we know you have football back domestically in your countries that also require your assistance as well. But the fact that you're able to come to Bermuda, we want to say thank you, and hopefully I get to see you in person sooner rather than later. But we're working towards that. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Thank you.
thank you.
All right. Well, enjoy the rest of your day. Good luck this afternoon in your matches. And again, thank you very much.
Okay.
Thank you. And thanks to Cranston.
Okay.